another video for you guys, and today I'm gonna teach you guys how to correctly drive the old good 5-speed transmission here. Now before I get into this video, I want to say a big thanks to NinjaxBart for being my first subscriber. I don't expect him to shout me out in one of his videos. I just want to say a big thank you to him for, subscribing first of all, and just giving me hope and, encouragement to keep making videos and, get me excited on what's to come. I know 1 subscriber isn't that big of a deal, but I said in my previous videos, being on YouTube and doing YouTube as a job, as, a career, is one of my passions. I love making videos. I love entertaining people. And, him subscribing really gives me encouragement to want to do more with YouTube. I don't expect him to shout me out. I don't want to say I don't want to, because that sounds rude, but I don't expect anything out of it. Getting right into the video, I've seen tons of people do, how to drive manual, how to, what you guys seen them. You guys seen plenty of videos on how to drive manual, but, this is just going to be my own way of describing it. Some things I want to, change what other people say. But yeah, you are gonna get a front row seat into me teaching you guys. So, buckle in, it's gonna be a great ride. First things first is getting familiar with your vehicle. If you're not familiar with your vehicle, you're gonna have a really tough time in your learning process on driving manual. Now, in a manual vehicle, of course, you have your shift knob, and I'm probably gonna get a little different angles so you guys know what I'm explaining, and it'll be in this next clip. So as you guys can see, this is the shift knob. It controls your different gears and whatnot. And the shift pattern is an H pattern. I'll put it somewhere on the screen here-ish, just so you know what an H pattern is. Basically, over, left, up, first, down, second, middle, up, third, and so on and so forth. I have a 5-speed, so over and up, 5, down, over and down is reverse, whatnot. You guys know it. As you can see, my cool little sweatpants, because it's cold in freaking Pennsylvania. But yeah, the typical 5-speed. And as you can see down here, we have 3 pedals. Yes, we have 3 pedals in a manual transmission. You have your clutch that, you can shift through gears and whatnot. You have your brake that, just stops you from crashing your vehicle. And you have your trusty gas, which encourages you to crash your vehicle if you have a fast car. So first things first is, starting your vehicle. Now, it's pretty simple. All you gotta do is take your trusty shift knob. You gotta make sure you're in neutral first. And to make sure you're in neutral, you gotta just shake the crap out of your shift knob, just like that, Make sure that you're in neutral. Second thing, you gotta go down here, put the clutch all the way in, foot on the brake, and then just turn the key. Now, that's very simple. The hardest thing you're gonna run into with driving manual is starting. The first start, in first gear, as you, let off the brake, go, and whatnot, but first gear. Now, I know a lot of people really, emphasize the teeter-totter motion, as you let off the clutch, you give a little bit of gas and whatnot. Personally, I don't think they explain that correctly, because if you think about it, if you do let off the clutch and as well hit the gas, your RPMs are going to skyrocket, and that's what you don't want, because then you're going to burn your clutch and you're just going to have a bad time. Anyway, so what you want to do is find where your clutch bites. Now, what I mean bite, there comes a point in when your clutch actually starts engaging the transmission. So once you find that point, you will notice your car starts to creep forward. Once you find out when your car starts to creep forward, that's when you give it a little gas. So that way your RPMs don't... I'm sorry about that. My mount just popped off my windshield. So now I kind of forget where I was. Yes. Getting into starting, yeah, whatnot. But once your transmission, or once your clutch starts to bite and you start to move, give it a little bit of gas. That way your RPMs don't skyrocket and you don't, well, you're probably going to stall out. And, that's another thing. Stalling out is when your RPMs get too low or you don't give it enough gas. Now, when you stall out, you're gonna hear and feel a lot of conchunking and give yourself a little bit of whiplash. That's because you're braking the vehicle. You don't want that. You don't want that at all. But where am I going with this? I don't know. Let me just show you simple steps. I'll show you how to start. I'll show you, you know, whatnot. I'll show you my little feet motions, and yeah, we can get started with moving the vehicle. All right, now since you're looking at my pretty little feet and my nice sweatpants, you can tell, hopefully, I'm doing this with one hand, so that's gonna be really hard. But anyway, to get started, first foot on the brake, put your e-brake down, handbrake down, my bad. Foot on the, oh, my big feet. Clutch in, make sure you're in first. First is right here, left, up. And then, as you let go, let off the brake, let off the clutch, and give it a little bit of gas, and whoa! We are moving, ladies and gentlemen. So, once you get that, stop, and basically start practicing that. So basically, you know, left, up, down here, off the brake, clutch out, and go. And that's it. That's basically it. That's all there is to it. To get that down, you know, just start practicing, you know, starting and stopping, and then once you perfect that, you can start moving on to shifting through gears. Now, when you shift through gears, it's very simple. It's easier than starting. All you do, let off the gas, push in the clutch, go down to what gear you're going to, and let off the clutch. You do have to give it some gas, but not as much as you would when you're starting the vehicle, or like start to move, I should say. But shifting through gears, pretty simple. Probably show you in the next clip. All right, now since we're on the road, driving a little bit, I'm gonna have to turn around up here because I'm on a freaking straight road or whatnot. But anyway, when you're shifting through gears, here you go. It's down, or it's left and down. So what we do, here we go, gas, clutch in, down to second, and off. And there we go. Now that's how simple it is. So I gotta turn around because I'm at the end of my road. I should point out, when you're learning to drive manual, find an empty back road that you know there's little to no traffic on, or a big parking lot, so you don't hit anyone or anything. With that being said, I am on a back road, as you can tell by some of the clips. And yes, I'm using the road I did my intro on. Don't judge me. This is what I have. This is what I'm working with. So once you get into, you know, shifting through gears and, you know, start moving and starting and whatnot, there's a thing called downshifting. When you downshift, it's basically the opposite of upshifting, you know? Simple, common sense. So when you're downshifting, all you do is basically clutch in off the gas first, clutch in, put it to a lower gear, and make sure when you're downshifting, make sure your RPMs aren't high. When you shift to a lower gear, your RPMs will go higher than the gear you were in. Shift when your RPMs are high in your, like, say you're going to third to second. If you shift when your RPMs are high in third, your RPMs will skyrocket in second. So that's what you don't want, because that's bad for the motor. You don't want that. My car shifts, it says it should shift at like 3,000 RPMs. So when I'm downshifting, I usually shift down when my RPMs get to 2,000. It's different for every vehicle, but you know, just for Subaru WRXs or O2 WRXs, that's what the book says. That's honestly what the book says. It's different for every vehicle. I know in my Jeep, I had to downshift at, I think 25 or something like that, because I had to get the RPMs high enough because I had a lot of weight on a 4-cylinder motor. So anyway, different for every vehicle. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for how to drive a manual transmission car. If you were looking into a manual car, you will learn very quickly if it is your daily driver, if you're still getting used to it. So that's how I learned in my Jeep. I knew how to drive manual. I just didn't drive it on a daily basis. But when I started doing that, I've noticed that I quickly learned the process of actually driving manual and whatnot. So if you're looking to get a manual car, I highly recommend it. It's good for anti-theft because not many people know how to drive manual anymore, which is kind of sad. And if you have a sports car, always get manual. Get an automatic sports car. That's just ridiculous. Why would you do that? So anyways, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you so much to NinjaxBart for being my first subscriber. I know I said that in the beginning of the video. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for giving me encouragement. I'll link his channel down below. He has a 2016 WRX, gorgeous white. Highly recommend you check him out. Yeah, I hope you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe, it really helped me out. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you in the next one.